Keep going.
All right, thank you, Evan. Thank you, everyone. Jelly Line Brewery. How are we all doing tonight? Good? All right. Yeah. Not bad. Isn't anybody going to ask me how I'm doing? Terrible. I'm out of weed, guys. I'm fucked. It's awful. It's bleak. Yeah, well, we'll see. Do you know what being out of weed reminds me of? Did you guys ever see that movie Alive? Remember that movie Alive?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was an airplane crashed in the Andes Mountain, and those guys were stranded there for over 2.5 months.
Rugby.
And there was rugby, whatever it was. Negative 30 degrees. They had nothing to eat. They had nothing to drink. They had no shelter, and they had to turn to eating each other to survive. That's how they made it up there. It was a big deal. You guys not remember? This was a huge deal in the 90s. They had like merchandising and shit. I used to eat the breakfast cereal. I used to chocolate frosted Alive O's. They were great. They had the little shapes. It was like a little leg and a little brain. And they were awesome. But anyway, the point is this. When I'm out of weed, I think the only guys on earth who can relate to how I feel are those guys. Being out of weed is just so bad. It's cold and it's bleak. You can't eat anything if you're not hungry. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's a miserable nightmare. And I've been so desperate. I've been thinking about smoking the dead. You know what I mean? Like, if I was up there on that plane with those guys, while they're inside the fuselage having that kind of like deep ethical debate about whether or not they should eat cadavers for sustenance, I'd be out there trying to smoke one like a bong. You know what I mean? I'd be like lifting the leg, like, come on, light! And those guys would be like, Nick, we need to eat that for sustenance. And I'd be like, you idiots, I can't eat if I'm not hungry. Help me out. Light his asshole and I'll breathe in his mouth. But that's what being without weed is like. It's no good. Scientists, is this big, false scientific study that says that there's no physical symptoms from withdrawal from weed, but that's just, it's not true. We all know it, right? I assume everyone in this room knows it. Like I said, your hunger plummets. Your ability to sleep plummets. Your sex drive plummets. Everything just drops. And, but that's not the worst symptom of all. The worst one, of course, is all those pesky memories coming back. You know what I mean? You don't want those. They're not helping you out. It's like every time I run out of weed, it's like I'm Neo, and you remember when they plug them in, and they like teach them all that stuff at once in like 30 seconds? It's just like 20 years of embarrassing memories come flooding back. And then it's over, and I look down, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm 37. I've wasted my entire fucking life. And I start getting these deep, dark thoughts popping up, like, take life one day at a time, or, you know what I mean? Or your life is your art, be an artist. And I'm like, get out of there! Each grand journey starts with a single step. I'm like, And, how did I wrap this up? I forget. I think that's it. Oh yeah, the last thing I wrote down in here is a note about how my parents named me. They originally were going to call me Elliot, but then their friends were like, Elliot's kind of gay, isn't it? And so my parents were like, fine, we'll name him Nick. So the point is, I could have been gay. My parents were like, that's all I got, everybody. Thank you so much.